All right, the left, they just cannot handle the fact that President Trump is keeping all his promises on immigration. In fact, in the liberal sanctuary city of Boston, they're now trying to charge an ICE agent with crimes just because he did his job and arrested an illegal immigrant. The DA in Suffolk County says that the ICE agent arrested the illegal in the middle of a trial, which supposedly deprived the illegal of his rights. And a judge even held the agent in contempt over the arrest. But the U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts said that the judge's contempt order cannot be enforced because the Constitution clearly protects federal officers from prosecution just for carrying out their official duties. And as the U.S. Attorney points out, this arrest was totally justified. The illegal had prior arrests for serious drug trafficking offenses, you know, the ones that kill your kids, and was arrested with a valid federal warrant. And, of course, the federal judges in D.C. are no better. The judge trying to stop Trump from using the Supreme Court upheld the Alien Enemies Act to deport illegals, held a hearing today as he tries to decide whether to hold Trump administration in contempt for deporting illegal immigrants, in this case, Tren de Aragua gang members. But the Trump team, they are undeterred, and they keep getting results. Illegal crossings at the southern border last month were down to just 7,000 in March, down from nearly 200,000 in March of last year. How does the left respond? Holding a protest, as usual, this weekend in upstate New York. That includes a planned march past the home of border czar Tom Homan, who joins us right now with much more. This doxing thing, if it keeps going on, and it's now happening to you, somebody's going to get killed here. You're doing it to Supreme Court justices, elected officials. You see what's happening at Tesla dealerships and charging stations around the country. What's your reaction now that it's happening to you?
Well, look, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be intimidated. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Like you said, the border numbers are historic low. Sean, I started in 1984 as a Border Patrol agent. I've never seen the numbers this low. This is historic. And tomorrow, ICE is going to hit 50,000 arrests in the interior. And more than 35,000 of them are significant public safety threats. I was looking at the numbers earlier. 3,749 dangerous drug convictions. 1,042 aliens with weapons convictions, 969 illegal aliens with sexual assault convictions, 379 murder convictions. So we're hitting the ground running. We're not going to stop. But based on what you just talked with Lindsey Graham, I want to double down what you said, Sean. If we don't get the money, we can't arrest the most significant public safety threats in this country. We need money to do the operations. We need money to buy beds. We need money for airplane flights. We need money to detail agents to sanctuary cities. We need money or this stuff's going to slow down.
What do you make of the DA in Suffolk County in Massachusetts that says the ICE agent arrested the illegal in the middle of a trial and deprived the illegal of his rights? I know it ended the way it should, but he's doing his job, and he has jurisdiction over local jurisdiction. It's pretty outrageous that the people that are aiding and abetting illegals vis-a-vis sanctuary cities and states, that they never get held accountable. I think that's got to be the next step, no?
Yeah, you know, and DOJ is going to take it on. We'll win the case, but I'm proud of that agent. They did exactly what he should have done. He took a dangerous person off the street, because he would have been released. He would have gotten bail. It's a sanctuary state, and the judge will lose this. And I hope the judge gets embarrassed on this. Federal law is always going to trump local law. So God bless that agent for sticking to his willpower and taking this person into custody. That's one less bad guy in the street. Every bad guy we take off the street makes this country safe. President Trump made a promise to the American people. We're going to make this country safe again. We're going to start with foreign nationals, foreign illegal aliens that commit crimes in this country, and we're doing exactly what Trump promised. We're keeping his promise. We're making this country safe again, one day at a time, one illegal alien at a time. We're going to keep going.
All right, a couple of other updates. You have this crazed nut job who posted a video online encouraging people to open fire on ICE agents. That individual's been arrested for making terrorist threats. You also have in Long Island, New York, ICE agents capture an MS-13 gangbanger serial killer. What can you tell us about those two cases?
Well, look, the one making threats against federal officers, he needs to be arrested, he needs to be locked up, and hopefully that sends a message. If you want to threaten ICE officers, if you want to come to my home this weekend and try to terrorize my family, you're going to be held accountable. People have the right to protest, and they have their First Amendment rights, but you don't have a right to dox federal agents. You don't have a right to threaten their safety or their family safety. While I'm talking to you right now, Sean, I have Virginia state troopers 24/7 around my home because death threats against me and my family. They just don't get it. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm going to keep doing my job. But it's just unfortunate that we got to spend all this money and resources to protect agents who are simply enforcing the law. We're at a point now where the ones who carry the badge and gun, the ones who enforce the law, they're the bad guys now. And the ones who break the law are the victims. The whole world's upside down. Thank God we got President Trump back in the Oval Office. He's going to turn this back around where it's supposed to be. Law enforcement can be respected again, and the bad guys are on the run, and they should be on the run, and we're going to not stop looking for them. So, again, thank God we got President Trump back in the Oval Office because things are going to change quickly. They already are.
Thank God we have tough guys like you, too, that can take this heat. It's not easy. It's not good for your family. I'm sure it's not pleasant. But they're messing with the wrong guy. I can tell them that up front. Tom Homan, thank you. We appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.